Our next guest, I'm going to say, is a very big deal. He's the famed defense attorney who's represented clients like O.J. Simpson, Patty Hearst, Mike Tyson, civil libertarian, Harvard law professor. He taught Ted Cruz. Here is Professor Alan Dershowitz. Professor, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you so much.
You've been saying some pretty explosive stuff about the clampdown on free speech on college campuses, and you liken that to the rise of the Nazis in the 1930s. Now, this was a surprise for me to hear that from you.
Well, it's shocking how some people who call themselves liberals, but I call them not progressives, I call them repressives, they are trying to prevent others who have different views from expressing their views on campus. They demand safe spaces. They talk about microaggressions. When I went to speak at Hopkins recently, they try to prevent me from speaking on the campus because I support Israel. You know, I was shut down at University of Massachusetts and the University of California. Well, remember how it started in the 1930s when students at German universities tried to and succeeded in stopping left-wing speakers, Jewish speakers, and others burn the books. And as Justice Jackson said at Nuremberg, when you start by burning books, you end by burning people. And some of these repressives on college campuses today would burn books. If they disagree with them, they don't want you to read them.
What are you going to do about this?
Well, we're fighting, and we need college administrators to back us. Yeah. We need, you know, the students. The interesting thing that's happening is liberal students, people like me, and conservative, centrist conservative students are uniting against the extremists on both sides. On college campuses today, it's mostly the extremists from the hard left, and it's forming coalitions between conservatives and moderate centrist liberals in defense of free speech.
It's the college administrators who have to put their foot down and go proactively in favor of free speech. Yes, you can say that. That's what we need to hear.
And even if it offends some people, you can say it. You have to develop a thick skin if you're coming to college. There's no such thing as a safe space in a classroom. I microaggressed my students all the time. I used the Socratic method. There was no such thing as a right answer in my class. If you gave an answer, I asked a harder question. And one of the reasons I loved Ted Cruz is he loved combat. He argued with everything I said. I was against the death penalty. He was in favor. I was in favor of the exclusionary rule. He was against. He had his right hand up from day one. That's the kind of student we want.
Was he good?
He was good. He was a very good student, very sharp, a great debater.
The Socratic method worked. He came back quickly.
The Socratic method, and he came back quickly. And the best students are those who are not offended. If they feel offended, they just redouble their answers and become smarter and smarter. That's the way you have to do it on university campuses.
I've got to say that I see this story evolving with great dismay.
Me too.
Because the function of a university is to bring people together and to exchange ideas and opinion in a vigorous intellectual discussion. That's the way it was when I was in college. I'm sure it was the way it was when you were. And I hate to see this beaten down.
I agree with you. I used to teach a freshman seminar, 18-year-old kids. Where does your morality come from? I would challenge everything. I would challenge their parents. I would challenge their religion. I would challenge them. I would challenge science. I would challenge politics. Everything has to be challenged. That's what the university is about. No idea is ever safe. No space is ever safe for ideas.
So get out there, Professor.
We're going to do it.
Put some backbone behind these administrators,
Absolutely.
Please. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show.
My pleasure.
I never thought you'd be on the show, but you're here.
I love being on your